Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading an Aventurine Listener by me. So let's get into it. You and Aventurine had been together for almost a year now, your relationship growing stronger with each passing day. As a trailblazer, you were often busy with various missions, but you always found time to spend with your beloved. And today was no different. You had just returned from a particularly challenging mission, and as you entered your shared quarters, you found him sitting at the dining table, poring over some documents. His hair caught the light, and his intense violet eyes were focused on the desk at hand. He looked up as you entered, a smile spreading across his face. "Welcome back, my star," he greeted, standing up to meet you, and he wrapped his arms around you in a warm embrace. To be quite honest, it was everything you truly needed to recharge. His presence instantly making you feel at home, and all of that tiredness and everything else that came with work, it could be left behind as soon as you were within his arms. "Hey," you replied, leaning into his embrace. "Miss me?" "Always," he murmured, kissing your forehead. "How was the mission? Was it too hard?" "I mean, it was tough, but we managed, like usual," you said, pulling back slightly to look up at him. "But enough about that. How was your day?" He chuckled, leading you to the sofa. "Uneventful compared to yours, I'm sure. Just some routine reports and paperwork. Not that I usually deal with that, but oh well." And as you sat down together, you noticed the faint lines of fatigue around his eyes. "You look tired, Aventurine. Have you been working too hard again? Seriously, you really need to rest. And I truly mean it." He shook his head, a small smile playing on his lips. "Not too hard. Just enough to keep things running smoothly. I promise you don't need to worry, honey," he says. He couldn't help but smile and feel a little bit flustered at the way you cared about him so much. He was so unused to it. It would never stop surprising him, really. But it was a good kind of surprise, one that he would never mind. You leaned into his side, feeling the steady rhythm of his heartbeat. "You know, you really need to take better care of yourself. I don't want to have to scold you." Aventurine laughed softly, the sound resonating in your chest. I know. I know. I'll take a break soon. I promise." You looked up at him, mischief glinting in your eyes. "You better, or else I might have to call in some reinforcements." "Oh?" He raised an eyebrow, curious. "And who would that be?" You smirked, leaning closer. "I might have to call you Daddy to just get you to listen." Aventurine's eyes widened slightly, and a deep blush spread across his cheeks. Um, what did you say?" You couldn't help but laugh at his reaction, enjoying the rare sight of him flustered. "You heard me, Daddy." He cleared his throat, trying to regain his composure. "I didn't realize you were into that sort of thing." He shrugged, still grinning. "I'm not, but your reaction was priceless." Aventurine shook his head, though he was still smiling. "You're insufferable sometimes." "But you love me anyway," you teased, leaning in for a kiss, and he met your lips with his own, the kiss gentle and full of affection. And when you finally pulled away, he rested his forehead against yours. "Yes, I do. more than anything, and the two of you simply enjoying each other's presence. Eventually, Aventurine broke the silence. You know, if you keep calling me daddy, I might just start liking it. He laughed, poking aside playfully. Oh, really? Should I stop worrying? He chuckled, pulling you closer. Maybe. Or maybe I'll just have to come up with a nickname for you too. He raised an eyebrow, intrigued. Oh, and what might that be? I'm quite curious now. He thought for a moment, the cell stretching out just for a couple of moments, and then he smiled. How about princess? You wrinkled your nose, but you couldn't help but smile. Princess? That's a bit cliche, don't you think? He shrugged, a teasing glint in his eyes. Perhaps, but it suits you. He sighed dramatically. Fine, I suppose I could live with that. And he kissed your forehead again, his voice soft. Good, because you're my princess, and I love you, he said. He snuggled into his chest, feeling completely content. I love you too, Daddy. He groaned playfully, making you laugh. All right. Enough of that. Just one more time, you pleaded, looking up at him with puppy dog eyes that he could never resist. And he sighed, shaking his head. Fine. Just one more time. He grinned, leaning up to whisper in his ear. Thank you, Daddy. Aventurine rolled his eyes, but he was smiling. You're impossible. You know that, don't you? And you wouldn't have it any other way. You shot back, pecking his cheek. He sighed dramatically, but the love in his eyes was undeniable. No, I suppose I wouldn't. The rest of the evening was spent in light-hearted banter and affectionate teasing. As the night wore on, you found yourselves curled up together in bed, the weight of the day melting away in each other's arms. Good night, princess, Aventurine murmured, his voice thick with sleep. Good night, Daddy, he replied, unable to resist one last tease. He chuckled softly, pulling you closer. Sweet dreams. And as you drifted off to sleep, you couldn't help but feel grateful for the love and happiness that you had found with Aventurine, and you would always remember to treasure them.